Right now at noon, the Duquesne Police Department shares ways to prevent crime.
And rain showers continue throughout the rest of the day.
And a 15-year-old girl in Missouri could face being tried as an adult in an assault case.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
More rain showers and storms move across the 4 states. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Let's go straight to meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a look at the forecast.
We have a nice bit of calm rain showers out in Joplin right now, mostly just cloudy skies. We had some rain earlier today, but for the rest of the day, it's going to be pretty scattered and isolated in nature, all of these rain showers and thunderstorms that we see throughout the region. Winds only blowing about 10 miles per hour from the southwest, and not bad visibility either. Temperatures across the region are in the lower 60s. We're going to warm up slightly to the upper 60s to the lower 70s today, but we're not going to get much warmer than that. The rain and the cloud coverage doesn't give us a lot of room to warm up. The rain that we've seen already so far, most of us have gotten at least half an inch of rain out here just southwest of Monette, up to over 2 inches of rain. Now that'll continue. We've got rain chances for the rest of the week, continuing all the way through Friday. But right now we're in a bit of a break, a lull between the rainstorms that we see. We had one rainstorm pass by that gave us all of the rain this morning, but we do have some more rain rolling in. Now, like I said, mostly isolated and scattered in nature. We've got a low pressure system right above us, just north, and it's rotating these storms out and rotating more storms back in. Main threat tonight, we're just looking at stronger wind gusts, 50 miles per hour, and possibly pea-sized hail in the southwest. But for the rest of us, just thunder and lightning, and I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, many have been waiting for this day to come as Whataburger in Joplin officially opened their drive-thru at 11 a.m. today, with the first 100 guests in the drive-thru line getting prizes of Whataburger swag. The dining room and curbside service will follow in a couple of weeks, and there is a Whataburger in Webb City that's poised to open in soon as well. Well, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office held a community safety day on Saturday. The event was free of charge to the public and offered food for families as well as several activities for kids, including face painting and a bounce house. There was also a SWAT and canine demonstration. The Duquesne Police Department held a presentation Saturday for community members. The intention was to educate citizens on how they can help keep the community safe, prevent future crimes, and to gain a better understanding of what the police department does and why they do it.
So if they can know and understand what type of information that we're needing to be able to solve those crimes or identify these people, the more they know ahead of that, the more that they can kind of help recognize and collect that information ahead of time for us.
The police department also offered firearm locks to those who attended. A juvenile court officer told a judge Friday the 15-year-old Missouri girl accused of beating a 16-year-old and leaving her severely injured should not stand trial as an adult. As Christine Byers reports, the recommendation comes as no surprise to many legal experts.
Cell phone video of the March 8th attack went viral, prompting politicians and people across the country to call for Maurice DeClue to be charged as an adult.
When you have teens who should know better, who do know better, and they're committing adult crimes, there needs to be adult punishment.
But DeClue's attorney Greg Smith says juvenile authorities base decisions on whether to certify a minor as an adult on a juvenile's character and history, not just the act committed by a person with a juvenile brain.
Sometimes children get involved in things that mom and dad can't control. That's why we have juvenile courts, and that's why she should stay in juvenile court.
The deputy juvenile officer in charge of the investigation said in court today that her main reason for recommending DeClue remain in the juvenile system is because DeClue has no history of violence. In court today, the officer confirmed the police report showed Kaylee Gain threw the first punch before DeClue critically injured her. The judge denied the motion to have her sent home on house arrest, so she will remain in juvenile detention until further notice. During the hearing, DeClue's Spanish teacher and mother testified in her defense. Declue wept as her mother tearfully told the judge her daughter never intended to hurt Kaylee as bad as she did and prayed for her recovery. Kaylee Gaines' family attorney Brian Kammerer read the family's victim impact statement to reporters.
A terrible choice was made by two teenage girls to solve their issues through violence. This caused one of them to go too far with her bare hands in a concrete road.
Video of the assault showed Declue slam the back of Gaines' head against the concrete, which caused her brain to swell and sent her into seizures. Gaines spent a month in the hospital, followed by 2 weeks in a rehabilitation center. She still has a long road of therapy ahead of her and at least one more surgery. As for Declue, her family members have said she was the victim of bullying in the months leading up to the assault. The judge says he'll rule on whether Declue should be certified as an adult in the coming weeks. Well, coming up, the U.S. sends sharp warnings to Israel ahead of a likely military expansion into southern Gaza. We'll have the details. And later, we're making southern baked beans in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The Biden administration is voicing its strongest criticism yet of the Israeli government as troops get ready to expand in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The rising tensions come as Israel honors fallen soldiers on the nation's Memorial Day. Naomi Ruckham has the latest on paused shipments of weapons to Israel and the Prime Minister's response.
Large explosions were seen in Gaza Sunday as the Israeli military prepares for an operation in Rafah. This as Israel ordered new evacuations in the area over the weekend. More than 100,000 people have already fled. The new front has thrown the relationship between the U.S. and Israel into question, with the Biden administration pausing a shipment of bombs to its decades-long ally.
We've said to Israel that we will not support an operation in Rafah, a major military operation, in the absence of a credible plan to protect civilians.
On Friday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken delivered a report to Congress saying it is reasonable to assess that Israel has violated international humanitarian law. But the report stopped short of finding the Israeli military had already done so. The news sparked outrage from some in Congress.
There is no evidence that Israel is violating international law. All civilian casualties in Gaza are solely the responsibility of Hamas. In fact, Israel is probably doing more than any military in history to avoid civilian casualties.
In Israel Sunday, the nation paused to remember the soldiers who have died in wars throughout Israel's history, as relatives of those still being held hostage in Gaza continue demanding their release. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
The United Kingdom also weighing in on America's decision to stop weaponry shipments to Israel, with Britain's Foreign Secretary saying it is, quote, not a wise path and would only strengthen Hamas. This evening, Israel honors its Independence Day, marking 76 years since the creation of the Jewish state. Former President Donald Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen is expected to take the stand today as the prosecution's key witness in Trump's so-called hush money trial. Cohen is the man prosecutors say paid adult film star Stormy Daniels $130,000 to keep her quiet about an alleged sexual encounter with Trump back in 2006, which Trump denies. Prosecutors say Trump then engaged in election fraud by reimbursing Cohen to keep the story from coming out before the 2016 election. Trump denies any wrongdoing, and he and his team have repeatedly suggested Cohen is not a credible witness. Cohen admitted to lying to Congress and served a jail time on federal charges related to the payments. Jury selection is expected to begin today in the corruption trial of U.S. Senator Robert Menendez, a case that could affect the Democrats' re-election prospects and help determine which party controls the Senate next year. Menendez and two New Jersey businessmen face charges in a bribery conspiracy case in Manhattan federal court in a trial that could last 5 to 8 weeks. The senator's wife, Nadine Menendez, has also been charged but will be tried separately. All four have pleaded not guilty. Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
What do you put in your baked beans? It all depends on what part of the country you're from. Join us and we'll show you a few options.
And the rain continues through the rest of the evening, and I'll have more details right after the break. We've already had some rain pass by, but we do have those chances continuing through the rest of the day and overnight. But let's take a look outside right now at 7th and Range Line out in Joplin. Mostly just cloudy skies right now. We don't see any rain. For the rest of the day today, it's going to be more scattered in nature. We had heavier rainfall this morning, and as you can see, dropped less than ½ an inch in all of the blue, but the green was more about an inch, inch and a half. And then the yellow that's southwest of Monette, it's more about over 2 inches. So we did already see quite a bit of rainfall from the storm that is now moving out of Springfield up to the northeast. We do have a few more showers pushing in as that low pressure system rotates back in. It'll be mostly scattered and isolated in nature as these storms do continue to rotate back in for the rest of the evening. And the threat that we see is very low, but we do have a low risk if you're in Missouri, southwestern Missouri, southeast of Joplin. So Joplin's just out of the area, but if you're in those counties that are on our eastern borders or Arkansas and a little bit of Oklahoma, low risk. But that risk is more just we're seeing pea-sized hail, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So severe threats, but not too severe. And the amount of rain that we're expecting for the rest of the day is very limited as well. About 1/10 of an inch in some areas, maybe up to ½ an inch in certain areas that some of these storms are going to go over and over. But as you can see, they're very isolated. And so let's take a look at that future track right now. As this system rotates back in, we've got a few isolated cells, but the main threat is that one line that's going to be moving past nearly almost out of our area by 4 p.m. today. And like I said, that threat's only pea-sized hail, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, not to mention thunder and lightning as well. But we're not expecting any rotation or hail larger than pea-sized with any of these storms that pass through. And that main threat, after it moves out of Joplin, it'll start to strengthen, but it'll be out of our area before most of that damage is done. And then it'll continue to move out for the rest of the afternoon. Very limited isolated showers and thunderstorms. Those will eventually clear out, and in the morning we'll have a few more showers in those eastern counties. So if you're in the Missouri side, you'll have a few more showers to deal with in the morning, getting ready to start your day, off to work, off to school. A few more showers. And then we'll have a nice day on Tuesday before more rain starts to push back in Wednesday morning. But these rain chances continue all week long. We are going to continue to expect rain chances, thunderstorm chances all the way through Friday, but not anything severe.
No, it doesn't seem like it. I know we've had a lot of rain, but hey, next weekend looks great.
Rain isn't bad. I'm glad we don't have the severe threat.
Yes.
So, but yeah, next weekend we're going to have sunny skies, a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday night, but for the daytime, it'll be nice.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are beginning their quest to score a 3rd straight Super Bowl win. This morning, the NFL announced that the back-to-back champions will kick off the 2024 NFL season against the Baltimore Ravens. It will be a home opener for them at Arrowhead Stadium on September 5th. Last season, the Chiefs defeated the Ravens 17-10 in the AFC Championship game in Baltimore. The NFL is set to announce the full 2024 season schedule on Wednesday. Well, stick around. We're making Southern baked beans in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, today's Mr. Food recipe is a classic summer side dish cooked up Southern style, which means that it's flavored with classic ingredients that add just a bit of sweetness. And it's perfect as we head into summer barbecue season. Howard is showing us how to make Southern baked beans in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
The other day, a few of us in the test kitchen were chatting about what makes really great baked beans. And as you can imagine, everyone seems to have their own opinion, which kind of varied based on where they grew up. For me, since my parents grew up in Boston, as a kid, I only knew about Boston baked beans. What makes these so unique is that they use navy beans simmered in a sauce accented with salt pork and molasses. Callie, on the other hand, grew up with baked beans that started with tomato or sometimes barbecue sauce that was sweetened with brown sugar and had bacon in it. Well, after lots of discussion, we decided that today we're going to make them Southern style. All we have to do is combine some canned kidney and cannellini beans that we've rinsed and drained, along with some chili sauce, ketchup, chopped onion, brown sugar, and a bit of mustard. After this is mixed well, we spoon it into a baking dish and let it simmer in the oven until it gets all thick and bubbly. What sets this apart from other baked beans is the combo of the brown sugar with the chili sauce. So right after the news, why don't you go online and get the recipe for our Southern baked beans so you can taste test these against the ones you grew up with. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a bubbling hot way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. It's hot, don't burn yourself.
You can, of course, find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just head on over to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Well, we've got showers continuing into the morning on Tuesday, mostly scattered and isolated in nature. We're not looking at any severe threat with any of these thunderstorms. Clearing on Wednesday, and then the rain returns Wednesday overnight and all the way through Friday.
Well, certainly a lot of rain. Hopefully it doesn't flood too much, but I'm really glad that it's not severe.
Well, today we're only looking at like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of rainfall for the rest of the day. So hopefully it stays pretty decent out there.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Lindsay and Dowdy up for us tonight.
Lots coming up at 5 with Memorial Day fast approaching. We're going to take a look at why AAA is predicting this year is going to be the busiest Memorial Day weekend in nearly 20 years, along with what you need to know for your holiday weekend travel. Plus, recent announcements for improvements and funding for planned expansions at Fidelity and Interstate 44 in Webb City have raised economic and safety concerns, gaining the attention of city staff. And a Southwest Missouri women's organization presents a donation to the medical loan closet in Joplin. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A whole lot more, of course. It's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.